Alright, hello everyone. Today we'll be talking about surrealism in photography. And what I really want to talk about is the intersection of your camera lens and then the idea of what's happening in dreamlike imagery at subconscious. So, while we often think of photos as this sort of evidence of reality, sort of artists like who dabble in surrealism see reality to be quite subjective. So they wanted to capture what Andre Breton calls the functioning of the mind, dream, desire, and the bizarre realm. And we talk a lot about this in my different course, so 100 Ways of Seeing Art. But I want to talk about its implication in photography. So one of these masters of surrealism in the 20th century was Man Ray. He was also an alchemist of the darkroom photography. Hence, we definitely talk about a lot of digital photography, but in the 20th century, when surrealism as a movement was sort of burgeoning, Man Ray was really a photographer as an artist who was really taking pictures, and he manipulated the very process of photography. Some of his ideas that encapsulate surrealism is what is known as the rheograph. He famously created images without a camera by placing objects directly onto a light sensitive paper. And then there was this idea of solarization. So he used a technique called solarization where he created these halo like outlines around his subjects and blurring the line between a physical body and a sort of a ghostly spirit. And the next two collaborators, longtime collaborators and great artists, are Salvador Dali and Philippe Halsman. So we want to talk about this iconic video that I'm going to put there on my course slide. Definitely, please have a look. It's about the collaboration of Philippe Halsman and Salvador Dali. So in 1948, imagine that you are a photographer and you don't really have access to Photoshop. Now, to get this specific shot of the jumping cats, flowing water, and also the artist Salvador Dali, they had to throw cats and buckets of water into the air 28 times so that the timing was perfect. Again, I want you to look at the video that I shared in the course slide. It's such an interesting insight onto the process. Now, Halsman's jumpology wasn't really a gimmick, but he believed that when a person jumps, their mask falls off, revealing their true self. So, again, the idea is what is your intention to access dreamlike imagery and a lot of subconscious ideas that are not very neatly placed into very objective sense of photography. Now, when we sort of pivot into the digital shift in this course, I want to talk about how can we use our computers and laptop as this dark room. So that's why the term Lightroom is sort of a play on that. Now, modern digital surrealism takes the core of what Man Ray and Dali talks about in terms of Photoshop and digital collage. I've shared a tutorial there as well. So the idea is to play with scale and gravity. So digital tools allow us to effortlessly break these laws of physics, making giant objects appear and stuff float in midair. And also, it gives us insight into seamless compositing, and it means that unlike traditional collage, where you see the cut lines, Photoshop allows you to make things more cohesive, more seamless. And then you have this idea of this digital realm. So as Man Ray uses shadows, modern artists use layers and masking to create complex, multi-layered narratives that represent the complexity of the modern mind. So now with the ideas I've shared in this course video and also in the course slides and the Photoshop tutorial, I want you guys to interact uh, and respond to the material and think about how you can create digital surreal collages and also take photos uh, sort of inspired by the body of work of Man Ray, Philip Halsman, and Salvador Dali, and then create a subjective, subconscious, and surreal response to all these abstract yet very intriguing ideas. All right, thank you all. Take care.